Friday?
Friday, 1-ish, 1 to 1.5, probably 1 hour 20.
Tell me your wife's type A without telling me your wife's type A.
Drive, search, list, boom. We've got our master list on Google Drive here. We've been through this enough, we've forgotten enough things that we just keep adding to this, and then we pack in sections. So bedroom is the home good stuff. Kenny usually takes care of that. We got house foods, race foods, and bottles. And Roxy foods over here, don't forget that. Gotta feed the little doggy. Got a few Paint Academy essentials there. In this lovely corner, we've got all the camera gear laid out, minus the camera itself, because that's in Kendra's hands.
Her little Mamie. She doesn't have one in her bag, I don't think.
This one?
Yep, that's been her favorite lately.
With their food. Alright, bring you guys all downstairs. Got a few more Roxy things right here. But in this room is cycling essentials. What I like to put on this bed, that's gonna go into that bag, is everything I need for training and for racing that's gonna go on my body, on myself. So we got helmet, kit, glasses, shoes, heart rate monitor, computer, just everything I need to ride my bike and race my bike. Whew. And here we got the garage. So we got the cooler, a couple things there, and then in this corner here is going to be cycling tech essentials. So the ever important oh shit bag that Kendra has at every aid station. In case I run into an issue, we got extra tubes in there, we got extra plugs, multi-tool, we got zip ties and tape. That's my bike. I'm taking it into Shields tomorrow before we leave to get it all gone through, make sure every bolt is checked. Kendra works tomorrow, so we're leaving around probably 5 p.m. Gonna do like 6 hours of the drive. It's a 15+ hour drive, so it's a long one. Sleep in Rollins, and then make our way the rest of the way straight to Emporia, and I'll do a quick shakeout ride in the evening, and then we will get into some actual nice course recon on Thursday and Friday leading up to the race on Saturday. So there's so much that goes into packing. We're getting better at it though. It shuts. We're done.
6:10.
Bike on the car. One more look in the townhome to make sure we shut everything off. Windows are closed, doors are locked, and then we are on the road. Hello, hello.
Welcome to Emporia, Kansas. Gravel City. Good to see you.
See you. How long have you guys been here for?
Oh God, since
Friday.
2022.
No. Like a week?
Friday, I think.
Friday?
Yeah,
When
Friday.
did we come? I don't know.
It is currently Thursday, 2 days before the race. We drove the first part of the course, really nothing too crazy, a few little pinch points, but no really rough sections or anything super decisive. But apparently somewhere down yonder, mile 22 or 23, the road gets a bit rougher. So we are gonna check that out today. And then the real rough stuff comes somewhere around mile 44. So I'm doing 2 to 2.5 hours today. Kind of trying to shake out the legs, restart the engine after a long travel in. And yeah, just really get the important parts of the course dialed and up here. So I know where to be. There's a nice wide road back there after we cross the highway. So I think that's gonna be kind of my key point if I'm not towards the front there or wherever I'm at, is to try and move forward, depending on how far up the road gets rough. So yeah, I'm gonna test out this new pack. So we got 2 so we can flip-flop, have one at each aid station, make sure it feels good with the GoPro setup. And yeah, I'm starting to get excited, starting to get nervous. Lots of people are pouring into town. There were tons of people out pre-riding this morning as we were driving the course, so the energy is lifting up, the excitement is coming, and we're getting ready. Oh, do you smell something?
Oh, yeah,
we did the GoPro.
Go get the man that what is the tire.
Hey Jenna, how's it going? You know. How deep does it look? I feel like we should try all the lines almost to make sure, like, see if you're okay on the side too. It doesn't feel too bad. Oh, money, that's, yeah. Hey, little girl, you so happy. Oh, kisses. Okay, I'm gonna go back up just a hair. It's not bad, but I feel it just a teeny bit, like in my inner thighs, usually when it's just a tad low. Doing the classic saddle adjustment. Shall we? Sticky?
Yeah.
All right, we have fast forwarded to Friday, the day before the race, and we're out here at mile 18 to go. Just gonna ride the finish to make sure I don't make any wrong turns as I've done in the past in other races. And I thought it'd be a good time to go over the bicycle and the special changes I made for this race. So the big one is, you notice I've got some Shimano XT mountain bike pedals on. I don't really like to run mountain bike pedals. It can kind of finick with my knee, but I've been running them for the last couple days and I feel like I've got it dialed in as good as I can, and it actually feels pretty good. The reason for this, see, we did get some rain last night and there's definitely going to be some muddy parts of the course, so I just think it's not smart to run the Speedplay road pedals because those just get a little bit of mud, they're done. After that, we've got the Pirelli Cincherato Gravel H's in a 45. We're still running the SRAM 1x Red Explorer, and we've got a 46 tooth chainring up front and a 10 to 44 in the back, so I think it's actually a pretty good setup for this course. I don't need a huge gear, but then the gears are a little closer together so I can be at the right cadence I want to be at more often. We got the Almost There bag up top, which we are required to carry our phone, so I'm gonna have my phone and all the GoPro batteries inside of there. Now normally I don't do a seat bag because I have the internal storage, but I will have a seat bag on here for tomorrow with a tube and two 25-gram CO2s. Inside my internal storage, I've got another 2 CO2s, and another tube, and then another CO2 adapter just in case one explodes. I've seen that happen to someone in a race and I just want to be prepared. So yeah, those are kind of the special things I'm doing just to be as prepared as I can be for tomorrow. You getting the bugs? Yeah.
Does I look like Joe Gettle?
Oh, so good.
We're gonna head back to town, take Roxy to the dog wash that's downtown. That'll be an experience. She doesn't love baths, so.
I know I should have done this, should have quit this long ago. Can't stand another heartbreak, but it's time to let it go. It'd be easier for me if I can wait to
Wheel. It has this cool little hack. It's start line ready, race ready.
Okay.
Zach wrote it, he said it was good. It's good. I charged the battery already, so that's good to go. I checked with the SRAM Access app. Also looking at these, they are still green, which means I have a few months left of shifting according to SRAM, and it's not freezing cold, so I'm good there. Alrighty folks, it is the evening before the race. My wife is with her parents having dinner, so I get to do this all by myself tonight. So I got 2 U-Sweet packs, and they're each gonna have scratch high carb. So they'll each have 200 grams of carbs per pack, 1.5 liters, and then a little bit of electrolytes on top of that. And then I've got, need 1 more bottle there, but I will have 2 bottles for each aid station. The first one, it's gonna be all high carb stuff. Second one, I'm gonna do 1 high carb, 1 water for aid station 1, just in case my stomach is not happy with me. Then for the last one, I will also do probably the same, but a little lower carb mix, so a more of an electrolyte, maybe 60-gram bottle, just because at that point in the race, your stomach might not be super happy with trying to put down those high carb stuff. On top of that, I will have some goo gels, which I got to get out of that bag, just 1 an hour, and I've got some pro bars as well. I think it'll be nice to have some solids in, so I'm gonna try and get maybe half a pro bar down between each aid station, so 1.5 total. I've done good with getting a little bit of fats and proteins in you for this long of a race versus just straight sugar. So yeah, they're on their way. I'm gonna keep on working on this, so hopefully I'll have most of it finished. We're gonna load up their truck tonight, so that's what's going on right now. I'm gonna keep working at it. Good morning. Race day. Good morning.
Good morning.
Today's breakfast of choice is waffles. Pre-made yesterday. Very good.
What's up, kitty cat? You started the show?
We're getting close, getting excited. Had a rough time falling asleep last night, but that is always the case on race day. Once I did fall asleep though, slept pretty good. And yeah, I'm feeling decent now.
See you in like a half hour.
Thank you guys so much. We love you all, even if it doesn't seem like it at the aid station because we're all frantic, but we do.
Sweet.
All right, let's head.
Bye. Bye, guys.
What a waste of love.
Alrighty folks, we are in it. I hope you can tell by the footage here just how crazy feeling this is. Yeah, I don't think anyone really knew what to expect just getting straight onto the gravel with this level of competition here. So everybody's fighting and trying to be up at the front right away, even while we really don't have anything significant till mile 25. And you know what? I'm right there with everyone else trying to fight to stay at the front of this race, as I also don't know what's going to happen. There's already been some crashes in the neutral zone and just outside onto the first stretch of gravel, so I'm just trying to keep myself as well positioned as possible. However, once we get maybe 5 miles in, I think everyone does realize that the roads are pretty darn straight up until mile 20-ish, and there's no wind, so nothing really is going to happen. And with that, I want to get into the race course here. So as you know, it's 200 miles long, so this will be the longest race I've ever done. I was able to drive the first 20 miles and then pre-ride from mile 20 to about mile 60. In that frame of distance, I identified about 4 key spots. Of course, as I mentioned before, that first one at mile 25, we hit that first B road. Section number 2 is going to be Divide Road coming right out of the town of Eskridge. Section number 3 is mile 48, and that's Rockton Road, where there's actually some mud. Section number 4 comes at mile 56.5. This is Christy Rd. It's super chunky and it's got a few climbs in it. And then outside of that, I knew that mile 70 brought the first checkpoint, and that's that first feed zone. And then of course there's the infamous Little Egypt Road that comes at mile 104. So that's the info I've got on all the homework I did for this race. After Little Egypt, I'm just going to be riding blind, but I have been told by folks in the past that is the decisive sector where the kind of the main lead group is typically established. So with that all being said, we are fast forwarding here to about mile 22 as we are approaching that first B road. You know, we don't really know if this is going to be, you know, a major split in the race with each of these sections coming up. So we're all fighting really hard to kind of get in position here as it's kind of go time for the race. We are now coming out of section 1, and as you can see, we're already having to do a little bit of chasing here. However, I stayed pretty patient. I'm right behind Torben Road. He does have a gap in front to the next rider, but it's still so early, and I know there's some stronger guys behind me because I got in this section pretty far forward. So I stay patient and just stay behind him until Lockie and a couple other riders go around and I jump on their wheel, and then I get a nice free ride back up to the front group. I've heard a lot of talk about all the risks we elite men are taking going into each section here at Unbound and kind of not going with a good line choice, but kind of going over all the rocks. But I just want to note that I went into this section about 35th wheel and I'm already having to chase, so you can only imagine what it would have been like if you were 100th wheel going into that first section. You're way off the back and chasing. So I'm going to stand by my decision to take those risks and not be on an ideal line to get in position and save energy. So I'm pretty happy with how this first section went, and now I'm ready to take a little bit of breather as we are back connected to the front group. The next section coming up is going to be Divide Road right after Eskridge. This was kind of what I noted for maybe a possible split, just because it is a lot longer, it's rollier, it's got some steeper, chunkier climbs in it than this first section did. So the battle for position kind of starts taking place right before town, but it's really going to heat up as we enter the actual town of Eskridge on the pavement here.
Wait a minute.
And with that, we have made it through the first 3 sectors. Everything has gone pretty much perfectly to plan. I've been up towards the front at each one and saving energy. Getting into some numbers, taking a look at section 1, including the fight for position leading into it. We spent about 16 minutes with a normalized power of 359 watts. Section 2 was a little bit shorter with 13 minutes at 359 watts normalized, the same as well. Section 3 was pretty short with the mud. For that hard part, we spent about 5 minutes at a normalized power of 400 watts. And then this gets us to a grand total of 2.5 hours for the race so far. Normalized power of just under 300 watts, average power 250 watts, and average speed at 22 miles an hour. So we are definitely moving, and with the average and the normalized being that far apart, you can tell it has been a punchy race. It has played out pretty much just as I imagined it to this point, with battle for position to get into the sector, kind of survive the sector, and then come out as far ahead as you can, tuck in the group, and just chill for a bit until the next battle for position for the next sector starts. So yeah, it kind of reminds me of how I imagine Paris-Roubaix would feel, or at least from watching it. And I mean, we do have Paris-Roubaix winners here, Nicky Terpstra and Greg Van Avermaet, and a whole host of World Tour riders, so I don't think the feeling is too far off compared to what I've heard from some of the guys that have raced in those World Tour races, aside from the fact that, of course, we are on chunky gravel roads instead of cobbles. But yeah, anyways, I'm still feeling very fresh here, as I really haven't had to work too hard, having positioned myself well going into each sector. I've only pre-ridden one more sector here, coming up the Christy Church Road, and it starts off with a super chunky and steep climb. So I'm positioning myself very far towards the front. As you see here, I'm just sitting right on Tobin's wheel as we approach. Alrighty, so I had a little mishap back there. I was riding right next to Petr Vakoc and trying to hold my space, but I had my wheel kind of overlap with his rear wheel and we all shifted to the right. I touched his rear wheel with my front wheel, didn't go down, but did have to put a foot down and clip back in. And this was kind of the first real effort I feel like I've had to make this race to catch back up, because I really felt like this was a spot where a true split in the group could come to fruition. However, it is still clear that we are too many people to rotate and work together, and more people are catching back on, so this is not going to be where one of the main splits happen. And we go into this aid station number 1 with a huge group of riders. Now this is where I wish I would have done a little bit more homework, as I failed to kind of prepare myself for where my crew was going to be. I didn't realize how long this aid station would be, and it takes me quite a ways to get up to them, and I am kind of going slow and sitting up with my head perched out. Eventually I do see my wife and father-in-law and stop, and then we perform the pit stop here, where I get a U-Sweep pack, 2 bottles, a new pair of glasses, and an ice sock.
Water bottles.
On your back?
Yep, in my back. Are both bottles in?
Yep.
Okay, gotta go. Love you guys.
Now this stop, I did time it out. It took me 26 seconds, and I'm glad it didn't take me a second longer, because as I get back going and make my way through the barriers and out of the aid station, I can quickly tell that this is for sure a spot where people are looking to gain an edge and an advantage. I still am feeling very fresh, so I could chase super hard here, but I'm going to play the patience game and try and let other people do it. I'm sitting behind Lance here, and then we are kind of connected to a decent sized group, and I see Mate Mahoraj come by, and I yell, "Up, up! Up, up!" Although I could jump on his wheel, I definitely have the energy to do that. I don't want to be the first one on there, because if he elbows through, that means I have to work. So if I can get our group to latch on and I'm sitting at the back of that, then I got a lot more riders in front of me that are going to have to go through and peel off, and hopefully I won't have to do much of the work getting back to that lead group. And it turns out that is exactly what is going to happen here.
It's the end again. The end again. It's the end again. Not today. Not today. Send down your fires and waters. Go on and rip the sky out, but not today. Not today. Ooh, take a ride on your whitest of horses. Shake the earth. You can do it all, but not today. Not today.
I go into this muddy section here at the back of the group as I was a bit caught off guard, having not done my proper homework on this part of the course, but I try and stay patient and wait to ride the good lines rather than going into the sticky mud and having to get off and run. I'm riding the checkpoint from Trek, which with 45C tires on still has a decent amount of clearance for mud, and I don't have any issues getting through this section and never had to get off and run. Now we are working our way through the rest of this, which is just small little bits of mud here and there. I'm not super worried at this moment in time because there's still a lot of strong riders, and as we come up to this corner here, we are catching back up to the lead group. Now, this is where I can start to see some guys are suffering a bit. I think Lachlan senses this and makes an attack right here, and no one reacts to it for a little bit. Kind of wish I would have gone with him just to try and get ahead, as now I do believe there's really nothing significant until we hit Little Egypt, and it would have been nice to go in there at the front versus do the battle for position, but he actually ends up making a wrong turn, and all of a sudden he is back in our group. Now I want to talk a little bit about team tactics making their way into gravel. I haven't mentioned it yet, but there is a breakaway up the road, including my buddy Chase Work and Eno, both Minnesota guys, so super cool that they have been out in front for about 100 miles now. And in the past, that would have been an even more dangerous move, as most of the gravel racers are privateers without help. However, a couple of the main guys have help, including Keegan Swanson, whose wingman is Tobin Ortenblad, and then Specialized has Ian Boswell that's going to go to the front and really put the hammer down so we can get closer to this breakaway before the Little Egypt sector. So yeah, it's different times. I think as we get further and further into gravel racing, this is going to make its way into the peloton, just because with races like this, you see this massive group. If a breakaway goes away, you don't want to be the one on the front spending your energy to get back, because there's just so many people that are going to be sitting on, so you're going to need those teammates to chase those important moves back. With all that being said, we are now getting much closer to Little Egypt, and this is probably the hardest fight for position. Everybody knows that this is the place where people are going to attack, where the main split of maybe 15 to 20 riders is going to happen, and everyone wants to be at the front and be ready for it.
I waited for someone to save. I want to tell you something new. You drove us both into a wall. I drive away into the night, and I contemplate for a while. Oh, do you think
Unfortunately, right here, my GoPro battery dies, and if you can't tell, it's a little bit too aggressive for me to reach down and swap it out. We've just gone through the town of Volin, which comes at mile 99, and this means we are 4 hours and 36 minutes into this race, and I've got a normalized power of 300 watts and an average of 254. Now, this town kind of signifies the start of the Little Egypt sector, which, as you can see here, is about 9 miles long and takes me about 28 minutes to get through. However, if we look down into my file, you'll notice a little bit of a gap here, and it breaks my heart to tell you that this is where I got a rear puncture. Now, it only took me just under a minute to fix this, and I was able to get back onto my bike. I swapped out a GoPro battery as I was climbing one of the hills and really put my head down, starting to chase. But the reason I call this a heartbreak is because this is the spot where the main split happens, and I really felt like I had the legs to be there. I had executed everything perfectly all day and was feeling super good, even up to this point over the first few climbs of the Little Egypt sector. So just a little bit of a bummer. I haven't really had that real breakout result yet in a race. I've been up there a number of times, and I was feeling like this was my shot, but hey, it's Unbound, and many people had it a lot worse. Some people flatted and crashed right away. So to make it all the way through 2 mile 100 and to have a flat that I got to fix in under a minute, I'm still going to be grateful for that. One of the things I did tell myself going into this race is that I will never give up no matter what. So as I'm chasing here, I see a bunch of other guys also having mechanical issues on the side of the road. And for me, I'm thinking, great, those are also going to be strong guys that hopefully we can regroup up together and put in a solid effort to try and chase back on and get back up to that main leading group.
I wish you all the best, I guess that I stop myself for a while.
Yeah.
Saying things I don't believe, the panic's rising up in me. Won't you tell me something new?
We're now heading through the Alta Vista checkpoint, and we've been racing for just over 5 hours, and I'm currently sitting in 43rd position. This is the water stop town, and I am kind of going through my water faster than expected, so I was hoping to stop real quick and grab a bottle, but the group just keeps going, so I decided to stay with them. Now I pull up my phone right here just to text my wife to let her know that I did have a flat tire and I have the pump ready. It's holding pretty good, but I just want to make sure they have that ready in case I start to feel it leak again. At this point, I'm still feeling really good, and our group has been pared down to just the strong riders that probably had mechanical issues. Most notably here is going to be Albin Licata. Now this guy is a 3-time marathon mountain bike world champion, and he actually held the course record on Leadville, I believe, all the way until Keegan broke it last year. So he is a beast, and he's definitely taken the longest pulls. That being said, the rest of us are still working really good in the group, pulling hard, and we've got some great momentum going.
Where have you been? Did you see, did you hear, did you feel anything? In the world you're in the world you're in. Brutality, make it one, make it two, make it three times around. And they're suffering, yeah. We're counting down, tick-tock, and the time is running out. No first, let's take it. We'll save your head now. No.
Here you can see we are catching Chase and Eno, both of whom had been in that 100-mile breakaway from the start of the race.
Tick-tock and the time is running out. No first, let's take it.
Here you can see us catching Petr Vakoc. He was second place at Unbound last year, so he's going to add some extreme horsepower to our group.
you see? Did you hear? Did you feel anything? In the world you're in the world you're in. Brutality, make it one, make it two, make it three times around. And the suffering, there's suffering.
While I was initially excited to have Peter in our group, it quickly turns out that he is just absolutely hitting the pace hard. We had been having those time checks that were saying about 2 minutes in. You could definitely tell he was riding all out trying to get back to the front. So it ends up kind of exploding our group apart here as just Albin and the other guy are able to follow Peter. I am sitting somewhere in no man's land as we're going over some of these hills, and then Connor Sens and Chase Work are behind me for a little bit. After a few minutes of rollers riding by myself, I look back and I see that they're not too far, so I sit up and wait for them, and it's Chase, Connor, and I for just a little bit. And then right here, Connor actually ends up overcooking this corner and going into the ditch. So Chase and I look back, and he's taking a little bit of time getting out of there, so we decide to keep going. And I think this is a pretty special moment in the race for me, as Chase and I are both staying at the same host house. We are both from Minnesota and came up racing on the road together. And now both of us, having made the transition into gravel, we find ourselves together in the biggest gravel race of the world. So that's pretty cool, but I do start to feel like he is getting a little bit tired. Again, he was in the breakaway for over 100 miles at the start of this race, so insane effort, and definitely tell it's wearing on him a little bit as we are heading into the aid station here.
Sitting there. Skip this first. No, rear. It's fine. Just leave it. Yeah, it's been holding. So it goes. Yeah. And do you have an extra bottle I can just chug real quick?
You got this one, don't give up.
I think I gotta leave Chase. He's dying a little bit. There's my battery. Okay. You know.
I come out of the aid station and ride with Chase and Eno for just a little bit longer, but again, both these guys were in that 100-mile breakaway earlier in the day, so their legs are a little bit blown, and I'm still feeling really good. So I decide to keep my pace going, which ends up with me being alone for a good chunk of time from probably mile 155 to around mile 170. There are at least the 100-mile riders on the side of the road that I am catching and passing, and some of them are cheering me on as I go by, so it doesn't feel quite as lonely. Now here at about mile 170, I got caught by this rather large group, and there's some pretty good hitters here. At first I'm a little bit bummed because this means I'm going to have to fight it out in a sprint. However, with the heat of the day and how long I still have to go, in hindsight I'm very glad I got caught by this group, because they were booking and we finished so much faster than I could have done on my own. Now, unfortunately, my GoPro does die here and I don't have any extra batteries to put in it for the finish, but I do have my wife and father-in-law at the finish line filming, so let's go ahead and see what happens here.
Every time we know just where you come from, we keep on falling. We're as lonely as you are. We know just where you come from, we keep on falling. We're as lonely as you are. We know just what it feels like, we're counting dollars.
Can you smash that sprint? I got the guy on the line.
You got the one guy?
Yeah, I got that last guy too, yeah. Because I was in the back, but I passed the two, and then I got the one right at the end too. So Freddie
I was up
and
there
the two, yeah.
I was like, yeah, go up.
Yep. Oh, but I did all the things right up to mile 100. Like I was like top 20 wheels at every important point. And then I flatted with this one. I stopped, put CO2 in it, and then I didn't have to plug it though. I just put it and shook it, and it sealed up. But it was right in the most important part of the race.
So back together, but there's got to be at least 2, 3, 4 riders that do not want much company.
We were flying.
Not another rider, so I think
29? 29? Oh my goodness.
Well done to Brian Walker, Arnold Ridovitz, John Amistad, Carl.
So, you've finished Unbound.
Done. In the books. Wild race. The most wild race I've ever been part of. It was just full gas into every rough sector. It was just a boxing match, and luckily I came out early and did my homework, so up to mile 100 I knew where to be and when to be, and I successfully executed on that. However, mile 100 in Little Egypt, halfway through it, I ended up flatting out of the lead group, so that was a little bit of a bummer. Because I had the legs, like I was doing fine. Kept going, chased really hard, got in a group fell apart, and got in another group, and came in for 29th of the day out of 120 solid professional riders. So all in all, like just, yeah, I'm stoked. And that was probably the best I felt on the bike, and it was 200 miles. Like, no back pain, no knee pain, no weird cramps in weird places, and I was on mountain bike pedals too, which I'm not super used to, so
Just more durable, thanks to Pain Academy.
Yes, I am so stoked with the way I felt.
And you even got a medal. When's the last time you got a freaking medal?
I got a medal. It spins. It's like having rims for your car for a medal.
That's the coolest medal I've ever seen.
It would be Pimp My Ride approved. So plans are, we're just gonna have fun tonight. We are taking 2 days to drive home, so we're gonna sleep in, we're gonna have breakfast, and then just take our time getting out of here. So tonight we're gonna have some fun and do it right and just enjoy the moment, because races don't always go well. You know, one flat tire at this race is really not pat for pat. All in all, like, a great day.